Very good morning to all of you and welcome to the class which is for September 24 for the lecture or revision or doubt sessions on the concept of basic concepts. So today we'll be starting up with the surcharge, how to calculate the tax, ultimately how to calculate surcharge, how to calculate marginal relief, and we'll be doing questions in relation to it. Post that, you will be allowed to basically around 9 o'clock, you'll be allowed to join the live interactive Zoom session whereby you can interactively ask your queries. Meanwhile, when we are studying for the next couple of or 2 hours, so I want everyone to participate. Have your calculators handy with you so that whatever question which we are doing, you can simultaneously do with yourself and match your answers. Okay? So please feel free to ask any of your query through the chat box or through the query link you have. At around 9 o'clock, we'll start the interactive session. I hope we are clear on it. And shall we start for today's class? Very good morning to all of you. So in the previous session, basically, we were revising about the concept of agricultural income and how what already constitutes of agricultural income. Yes, we did not do a question of partial integration because that I thought will make sense once you've done all the tax rates. Then we'll go to that particular question. So today, let's start with the surcharge rate. I hope the screen is visible. So, as we were discussing in the previous class, we told that tax surcharge and taxes basically are different for different types of people or different types of person. And then we were understanding that when we talk about person, also individual HUF, AOP, BOI, and AJP have an option to go through two different types of slab rate. One slab rate is which is an yield mechanism which comes through the Finance Act, and one slab rate is given under Section 115 BAC as an alternative scheme, which was introduced a couple of years back. Now the government has made it mandatory that 115 BAC is a by default scheme if you do not want to opt for the tax rates which are given under 115 BAC, then you have to make a specific choice to opt out, to shift out or to opt out from that scheme, and then you can go and pay tax as per the normal provisions. The difference between 115 BAC and the normal provisions or the provisions which are coming from the Finance Act is that definitely 115 BAC has attractive rates. Definitely the tax liability would be lesser there. But at the same time, the taxable income is different in the sense because 115 BAC does not give a lot of benefits in respect to deductions and exemptions, which otherwise are allowed in normal provisions. So if anyone asks you which scheme is better, that you have to compare case by case. You cannot compare it and say directly that 115 BAC is better. You have to compare it case by case depending upon what type of investment a person is doing, tax saving investment, what type of income a person is earning, and if any exemptions are there which he can claim or not. So that is again case to base, and definitely the taxable income would be different and tax accordingly would be different. But yes, so having said that, people who are in a lower bracket group or have not a lot of saving investments or who have just started earning, for them 115 BAC is definitely a attractive scheme. So in the previous class, we were discussing about the surcharge, that how surcharge is levied on individuals HUF, AOP, BOI, and the surcharge rate sort of has slight difference between 115 BAC and your old scheme or the normal provisions. Right now, we'll start again with the surcharge rate on the old scheme. How is the surcharge calculated? Again, we'll do it. And one very typical important point which you have to remember while calculating surcharge is regarding incomes which are included at the special rate, specifically capital related investment related income, which are capital gains under 112, 112A, 111A, and dividend. These have a surcharge capping. So let's quickly now, after a quick revision, start. So if you can see in this yellow box, guys, we have written the total. This is basically income. When you have an income more than 50 lakhs, then only the surcharge is attracted. So anyone having an income of 49 lakh, 80,000 or 49 or whatever amount, surcharge would not be attracted irrespective of whatever the composition of income is. The surcharge would not be attracted. So I told you why the surcharge was introduced. Surcharge was introduced to take more tax from the high income earning people, which was earlier there with the concept of wealth tax. They demolished it and then they introduced surcharge. So if you have an income, or if an individual HUF, AOP, BOI or AGP have an income of more than 50 lakhs, but it's up to 1 crore, the surcharge rate would be 10%. If the income is more than 1 crore, but it is up to 2 crore, the surcharge rate is 15%. If the income is more than 2 crore and is up to 5 crore, the surcharge is 25%. And if the income is more than 5 crore, surcharge is 37%. But remember, these are not slab rate ki, okay, 1 crore tak ka tax pe you'll apply 10%, then on the next 1 crore you'll apply 15%. No, these are the flat rate which you have to choose based upon the total income you have. Based upon the total income you have. Now the question is, suppose if the total income is 1.5 crore, the surcharge is 15%. 15% of what? 15% of the tax. Because this is a sort of tax on tax. Your tax is increased by a certain amount. The surcharge means it's an increase by a certain amount. So you have to do 15% of tax, not 15% of the income. Just remember these small points. Sometimes in rush, we try to ignore all those things. But I have written and put an asterisk here, a star here. What does this mean? So this means that along with the reason I told you, to make sure that foreign investments do not get diluted and Indian market is still attractive to invest, government said, okay, we understand your point of view. And they said the maximum surcharge on dividend 111A, 112 and 112A would be 15%. Dividend 111A, 112 and 112A would be 15%. The maximum surcharge. So maximum surcharge wala case kab aayega? When the income is falling in this bracket or this bracket, when the total income is falling in this bracket. So when the total income is between 1 to 2 crore, obviously the surcharge anyway is 15%. When the total income is between 50 to 1 crore, the surcharge anyway is 10%. The moment the total income grows or crosses 2 crore, the surcharge rate gets applicable at a rate of 25%. So if in that case you have dividend 111A, 112A or any such related, ye four income, not all special rate income, only these four types of income included in your total income, then you have to make sure that the tax which are coming on these respective income would attract surcharge of only 15%. Now taking this, let's do scenarios. There's one more small point which we'll be covering when we're doing the scenario. Right now, what we're discussing, Rohit, is for the old scheme. So the better part would be if you would be doing the tax calculation along with me, because what is the problem which I see in CA student is that they have a habit to see the answer and say, "Acha, aise kiya, aise kiya, aise aa gaya." At least try to attempt it on calculator with a rough sheet. I'm not saying make a proper format, so that your tax calculations are on a strong point, because no matter what, tax calculations are always required to be correct. So case one, my friends, we see that the total income is 60 lakhs, but in this 60 lakhs, the composition is 45 lakhs of special income of long-term capital gain and other income is 15 lakhs. We are doing as per the old rates, please focus on. Now, here, how will we compute tax? Simple, special and normal ka different. 15 lakhs pay slab rates and 45 lakhs pay special 20%. Total tax comes to 11 lakh 62,500. I hope everyone is on 11 lakh 62,500. We did this in the previous class also. So case 1, 2 and 3, I'll be quickly doing it. Okay. So 11 lakh 62,500 is the tax which is coming on the different type of income. Now on 11,62,500, we'll be computing the surcharge. No one would ask you in the question, calculate the total tax with surcharge and says. It is unsaid. When the question comes, calculate the total tax, you have to make sure that whatever provision on calculating the tax, it be it rebate, be it surcharge, be it cess, everything applicable is calculated. Okay, so never drop your answer at 11,62,500. It would not be right. So now 11,62,500 would be increased by surcharge of how much percent? 10%. Why 10%, ma'am? Because 60 lakhs का income है, 50 lakhs से ज़्यादा जैसे cross हुआ up to 1 crore, 10% है. So 10% of the total tax comes to 1,16,250. Adding both of it together, now you will apply cess. Do not apply cess only on the tax. The cess has to be applied with tax and surcharge. Total tax comes to 30,29,900. Remember, cess at 4% is applicable all the time, irrespective your surcharge is applicable or not. So the final tax liability comes to 13,29,900. What are these figures? We'll see what these figures are. Basically, this is an average which we have computed. That on an income of 60 lakh, a person is giving almost 22% as tax, which comes to 13,29,900, which is coming through slab rates. This is called average rate. Achha, so how many of you do not know how to calculate tax? Because in the last class, I remember discussing how to calculate tax basis slab rates. No problem. See, if you don't know, we can definitely do it. These are your revision classes. So don't worry about that. But please, as my friend said, please be upfront with or true with your knowing and unknowing part. Okay. So quickly, let's see how to calculate tax. So Johnny and everyone, please carefully note how to one compute tax. The slab rates which are applicable are as follow under the old scheme. So old scheme, basically the normal provisions, you can call it old scheme, you can call it general provisions, you can call it normal provisions. It is one and the same thing. But when you're talking about 115 BAC, either write default scheme or the new scheme or section 115 BAC. Okay. So the slab rates applicable on individual HUF, AOP, BOI, and AJP as per the tax rates are on up to 2,50,000, there is no tax, 2,50,000 to 5 lakh at the rate of 5%, 5 to 10 lakh, which is again 5 lakh at the rate of 20%, and 10 lakh above at the rate of 30%. So this is not that if your income is 12 lakh, directly you will apply 30%. No, you will divide your income on the basis of slabs and then you have to calculate tax. So suppose that income is 13 lakhs. If you see here, so on the first 2,50,000, there is no tax. On the next 2,50,000, that is 2,50,000 to 5 lakhs, the tax is 5%. On the next 5 lakh, that is 5 lakh to 10 lakh, the tax is 20%. And on the next 3 lakhs, the tax is at 30%. Total comes to 2 lakh 2,500. Increased by cess, tax comes to 2,10,600. Okay, this is how you calculate tax as per the slab rates. At the same time, the slab rates for resident, senior citizen, and super senior citizen are different. Who are senior citizen and super senior citizen? They are the people who in the previous year are of the age of 60 or more, are resident senior citizen and are resident, obviously. And the people who are of the age of 80 or more are resident super senior citizen if they're resident. Here, the basic exemption limit is a bit higher. 0 to 3 lakhs, it is nil. 3 to 5, it is 5%. 5 to 10, it is 20%. And 10 above, 30%. Remember, in the old scheme, there is no 10% at all. So it's 5, 20, 30. When we talk about resident super senior citizen, the basic exemption limit, that is the amount which is not chargeable to tax. Please remember these terms you have to use, okay? Either you write it, the maximum amount not chargeable to tax, or you write the basic exemption limit. It means one and the same thing. And you make sure that you write such terms in your exams. So here, the basic exemption limit is 5 lakh. That is up to 5 lakh, there would be no tax. 5 to 10, 5 to 10, 20%, and 10 above, 30%. Johnny, am I clear? So if someone asks you to calculate tax, until and unless the question tells you that the person is resident senior citizen or a resident super senior citizen, you will assume that they are not and you will calculate the tax as per the basic slab rates, which is of when the basic exemption limit is 2,50,000. Please make sure that if you are confused that whether the question is silent, upon which scheme has to opt out, if a question comes like this, Generally, by default, it should be 115 BAC, but still, if you want to calculate tax as per the old scheme and you're sure and you are confused about the slab rates under 115 BAC, give your assumptions. Give your assumption if the question is silent about which scheme you have to go. Give your assumptions on the residential status. Always write. If you want to score best marks, make your working notes the best presentation. Okay, right. That we assume that so and so person has opted out of 115 BAC and the tax has been calculated as such. Your study material actually tells you how to attempt the exam paper with body of the letter or body of the letter. I'm saying the body of the answer, main answer is what the question is asking about. All other things in assumption. So when see Kishan has a very good question. He's saying, is there any other way to present and calculate tax in exam so we can save time if question tells how we have to do it? So ultimately, see if the question is a big 16-mark question and they ask about calculate total income and total tax, you just give the total income and total tax. That's it. But if the question, depending upon if the question is just about calculating the tax and it is of 4 marks, try to give it in a way that this is how we have calculated. Otherwise, you don't have to show such calculation, to be very honest. Concessional means 115 BC. Rather, Preeti, the question can come at like that if the SSC follows the default scheme, then you have to understand it's 115 BAC, or if the SSC did not make an option to choose the old scheme, then also you have to have to calculate as per 115 BAC. Now, coming back to the surcharge, shuru karen guys again. Okay. Now, so I hope case one में सबका answer has matched. Take good 1 minute and tell me if it is matched or not. Case one, please do not rush to two, three. If you have already done, rush, but please stay to case one, everyone. Good, Sitkala, very good. Okay. So, Janya, I think it would be previous year 23, 24 for September 24 exam. Bhumika, tax on other income means other than special rate income. So, other income here means normal income or income which do not attract special rate. So, उसपे हमने slab rates apply करा. We have applied the slab rates. Okay. Now let's move on to case two. Case two, maybe guys, the same thing is happening. Special rate is 45 lakh. Other income is 60 lakhs now. And now the total income comes to 1 crore 5 lakh. The question is simple. Calculate tax on 1 crore 5 lakh. Now you always see what does my income comprises of. So the income comprises of special rate income, which is taxable at 20%. So 45 lakh by 20%, 9 lakh. On 60 lakhs, I'll apply slab rate as per the old provision because right now I'm doing the old provisions. The slab rate as per the old provision comes to 16 lakh 12,500. Quickly do it and see if 16 lakh 12,500 is coming. Make your practice so strong on tax rates that eventually you can calculate the tax within 30 seconds. And again, I'm saying, guys, do not be overconfident. Okay. Now the question is what to do next. Next is to do surcharge. Why? Because the total income is more than 1 crore. So on total income of more than 1 crore, now we have to apply a surcharge of 15%. Why? Because the total income is more than 1 crore, but it is up to 20, it is up to 2 crore. So the surcharge would be 15%. So now on the total income and when we have calculated the total tax, apply the surcharge rate at the rate of 15%. You will get the total tax with surcharge of 28,89,375. Add-on says final answer is 30,04,950. Very good, Komal. Very good, Rohit. Swati, it's not always the all special income are taxed at 20%. As per special tax sections, like income under section 112 is taxed at 20%, which is long-term capital gain in general. Income under section 111A is taxed at 15%, which is short-term capital gain, but coming from listed equity shares, equity-oriented mutual funds, and unit of business trust. Lottery income is, for example, is taxed at 30%. So there is a section of incomes which are taxed at special rate, which is given specially under the Act. And no matter what slab rates apply to you or whatever rate applies to you, these income would be taxed at special rate. Here, to do a particular scenario, I've covered up just one type of special rate income, which is under section 112. Sumit, I'll come to that question. It's very interesting. Give us some time. We'll come to that question. Now, case 3 say cheating, guys, would be interesting. So please focus now. Special rate income 45 lakh, other income which has to be taxed as per slab rate is 2 crore 15 lakhs. Total income comes to 2 crore 60 lakhs. So at the moment I told you that now the story changes, you have to be very careful when the total income crosses 2 crores and your total income comprises of an income either of dividend or of such special rate income under section 112 at 20%, income under section 111A at 15%, or income under section 112A at 10% in excess of 1 lakh. इसमें से कोई भी income if it is included in your total income, please be very careful while applying surcharge. So this is a note which you can maintain that whenever the income crosses 2 crore, I have to double check what my total income includes. So if my total income includes any of these four, I have to very concentratedly do the surcharge calculation. So now quickly, पहले basic चीज calculate just the tax, just the slab rate tax on the income of 2 crore 60 lakh, जिसमें से other income is 2 crore 50 lakh. Just calculate the applicable taxes quickly. I hope your answer comes to 71, 62, 500, including special rate tax. Again and again, I'm saying, guys, I'm saying again and again to everyone that practice is something which you can do on your own. Please be honest and calculate the taxes. Just don't see the screen, okay? Okay, so 71, 62, 500. I hope सबका आ गया. Very good, Anamika. Very good, Kritika. Very good, Komal. Everyone, very good. Very good, Ruhani. Okay, so now we come to the surcharge. Surcharge, guys, in general, what did I told? Income more than 50 lakh, up to 1 crore, 10%. Income more than 1 crore, up to 2 crore, 15%. Income more than 2 crore, up to 5 crore, surcharges 25%. But एक capping लगा दी surcharge की on 4 types of income: dividend, 112, 111A, and 112A. The moment these incomes are there, you have to make sure that the maximum surcharge, that is the surcharge on such income, should not be more than 15%. अभी आप क्या कर रहे हो? Surcharge 25% लगा रहे हो. You are applying surcharge of 25%. Why? Because the income has crossed 2 crore. Definitely you should, but you have to be attentive that when such income includes, or when the total income includes any of these four, the maximum, the surcharge on this would be 15%. So on 9 lakh, I will apply a surcharge of 15%. I'll apply a surcharge of 15%, and on the remaining tax, I'll apply the surcharge of 25%, which is applicable since the income has crossed 2 crore. Okay, so the surcharge comes to 17 lakh. Ma'am, why we did? Because government has given an assurance to people who are investing in the Indian businesses or markets that, okay, you will not give a surcharge of more than 15%, which is applicable in your case. अब आप बोलोगे कि मैम इनकम तो वैसे 45 लाख है तो उस हिसाब से तो सरचार्ज नहीं लगना चाहिए. इनकम इज in general 45 lakh, there should not be a surcharge. No, that is not the case. Total income has crossed 2 crore. Even if these special rate income are of 5 lakh, 1 lakh, 2 lakh, surcharge definitely would be applicable, but would be applicable at 15%. Okay, so that's how we have calculated surcharge at the rate of 15% on the tax which is coming on that special income, and surcharge at the rate of 25% on the tax which is coming on the other income. Very good, Komal. Very, very good. Kevin, is it clear? Okay, very good. Now, once you have calculated the surcharge, again the same practice, do not finish it here. Calculate the cess also on tax per surcharge. You'll get your total tax to be 92 lakhs 17,650. So if a person is earning 2 crore 60 lakhs, he's approximately paying 35% as tax. This is what the average rate concept is. If in case a question comes, what is the average tax rate? You just have to calculate the total tax with cess and surcharge, and you have to calculate the total income, and you have to compute the percentage. ठीक है? अगर ऐसा question आया, just in case a small chance is like that. Now, case 4. So, if anyone is feeling sleepy till now, please get up because case 4 is very, very, very important. Because now, यहाँ पे there is a slight twist. Yes, definitely you can use this format. Anamika, just 1 second, then I'll take your question. Meanwhile, you can drop it in the question. So now in the case 4, friends, what is the difference? Let's focus. 45 lakhs is again the special income. Other income is 1 crore 60 lakh. The total income is 2 crore 5 lakhs. Now you will say, ma'am, case 3 and case 4 are similar because the income has crossed 2 crore. Then why are we doing it again? How are these two cases different? Just simply uh, observe the case 3 and case 4. I'm saying they are typically different. How? Just see, यहाँ पे भी income is crossing 2 crore, यहाँ पे भी income is crossing 2 crore. Then how the tax calculation may vary, or how the process of tax calculation will vary. Very good, Swati. The income without that special income is not crossing 2 crore. Even if the total income is crossing 2 crore, the income without this special income is not crossing 2 crore. Now, ma'am, so how is this making a difference? This is what the difference here is between 3 and 4. Even if the total income is crossing 2 crore, and then you have a special rate income which has a capping of 15%, right, as surcharge. Now the other income is not crossing 2 crore. So why that other income should pay a higher surcharge of 25%? Because otherwise, had this income would not have been here, my friends, the total income would have been 1 crore 60 lakhs, right? And the tax applicable on this, or the surcharge applicable on this, would be 15%, right? Because it is not crossing 2 crore. Just because I got a special rate income of 45 lakh, now I have to pay a surcharge of 25% unnecessary, and on the special rate income automatically they are having a 15% cap. So the conclusion and the very important line here is that when the total income crosses 2 crore, you can write it also, when the total income crosses 2 crore, the surcharge is 25% with a capping on surcharge on those 4 incomes. But at the same time, you have to see whether your other income without that special rate incomes is more than 2 crore or not. Because if it is not more than 2 crore, the surcharge which would be applicable is the last one. That is the surcharge which would have been applicable if 45 lakh income would not have been there, which is 15%. So here now, if you see how we have calculated the surcharge, simple tax rate निकाल लिया, special income पे tax निकाल लिया, general income पे tax निकाल लिया, comes to 55 lakh 12,500. Now here surcharge, my friend, is 15%. 15% इस पे तो automatically है ही on special rate income, right? 15% is there on special rate income, and on 1 crore 60 lakhs के tax पे भी we have calculated, friends, the surcharge at the rate of 15%. Because other, if even just because the income is crossing 2 crore, just because of that 45 lakh. If I excluded, the income would have not crossed 2 crore. So unnecessary, why pay the higher surcharge? ठीक है, इसलिए on that also the surcharge would be 15% even if the income is more than 2 crore. एक बारी case 3 and case 4 का आंसर खुद solve करो, do it again and see what is the difference. And if case 3 and 4 is clear, case 5 and 6 would be simply easily solved. Take your good time, practice it again and again, saying ऐसे check मत करो कि ऐसे ऐसे आ गया. Please practice it. Done? सबको clear? Preeti, I'll tell you about road number 25. Failure first, calculate the tax quickly. So this is something which you have to be very careful on calculating the tax, that you, whenever the income is crossing 2 crore, remember seeing what is the composition of income. Remember seeing what is the other income without that special rate income, and be careful that you apply the correct tax rate. So suppose the other income would have been, say hypothetically 2 crore 60 lakhs. So obviously it would fall in case 3. ये जो डिफर देखना है ना कि what is the special, how much is the special rate income, how much is the other income. This you have to see only when the income is crossing 2 crore for the purpose of surcharge. Otherwise, you just have to calculate it normally, because 10%, 15% are otherwise applicable the moment your total income is crossing a certain limit. When it is crossing 2 crore or when it is crossing 5 crore, that is when you have to be most attentive. Sort of correct, Pratika. Okay. Now, with the same understanding, we'll proceed to case 4 and 5. Steve Kala just told that surcharge on special income is up to 15% when the total income crosses 2 crore. You have to make sure that the surcharge is not on special income, and not all special income. Again and again, friends, ये मत बोलना मैम आपने कहा था special income. On not on all special income, but just on those 4 special income, which is dividend, 111A वाला income, 112A वाला, and 112. Now, finally, to the case 4, case 4 is done. Now we come to case 5, which talks about same. Here, everyone, hands on your calculator. Here, the total income is 5 crore 5 lakhs, which having a composition of 45 lakhs and 4 crore 60 lakhs as special rate 112 income and other income respectively. Now we will compute the tax on it. Simple, 45 lakh by 20%, 4 crore 60 lakhs by slab rates, 1 crore 36 lakh 12,500 would come. So Komal is very fast, very good. Okay, now on 1 crore 36 lakh 12,000 plus 9 lakh is the total tax per surcharge. Now you again have to see what is the surcharge rate applicable. Surcharge rate applicable simply यहाँ पे is my total income more than 5 crore? Yes, surcharge should be 37%. But do I have an income which is a special rate income of what 112 or 112 in triple one and dividend? Yes. What would be the surcharge on it? 15%. So on 45 lakh ke tax, which is 9 lakh, the surcharge is 15%. Now, whether my income without that is crossing 5 crore? No. So why should the other income attract the surcharge of 37%? नहीं तो immediate पहला surcharge कौन सा है 25%. That should be applicable. So on 1 crore 36 lakh 12,500 surcharge would be applicable of 25%. And including it with cess comes to the total tax of 1 crore 87 lakh 72,650. How is case 6 different? Case 6 में क्या है? We have a total income of 5 crore 55 lakhs. Here focus guys. Tax compute कर लिया. Now the question on coming surcharge, you have to ask these questions. Does the total income include any income of 112, 112A, 111A or dividend? Yes. Surcharge on it would be 15%. So 9 lakh पे 15%. ये तो blindly you have to go. Now on 5, whether my income excluding this income surcharge is applicable at 37%. So on 9 lakh 15% and on 1 crore 51 lakh 12,500 37%. Total surcharge comes to 57 lakh 26,625 and including it with tax plus cess comes to total tax of 2 crore 26 lakh 8,690. So on an income of 5 crore 55 lakhs, you're almost giving a tax of 40% or 40.73%. So the calculation which is in your row 25 is just a small variation to tell that taxes are calculated as per slab rate. But if someone talks to you about what is the roughly average tax is simple, total tax upon total income. So this is what I have computed. So you will see as you're going on a higher income from 60 to 1 crore to 2 crore to 5 crore, you will see higher the income, higher is the average tax coming. On an income of 60 lakhs, you're giving a tax at an average rate of 22%. But the moment your income is crossing at 5 crore, you're giving an average tax of 40%. So this is the concept of slabs and surcharge that makes a higher person give a higher percentage of tax. Higher income person gives a higher percentage of tax. Case 5 and 6, एक बार आराम से solve it तसल्ली से and then we will move on to other aspect. Very good, Gayatri. I hope everyone has solved it. Again, not seen it just, but solved it also. So, up you are confident on how to calculate surcharge. That if a question come of tax and surcharge, I know, ma'am, how to do it because now I'm not worried about whatever the income is. रूहानी केस 2 में प्रॉब्लम ऐसा है कि सरचार्ज देखो जब तक सरचार्ज इज नॉट क्रॉसिंग 15% यू डोंट हैव टू वरी अबाउट द मोमेंट द हायर surcharges of 25 and 37% are applicable then you only have to see the breakup now because 25 and 37% tax surcharge are not applicable on special incomes of 112 112A and 111A and dividend otherwise the surcharge is applicable. Let's see one by one we'll do all thing do not worry. No, Satya, tax rate on special income would not be given. You see, there is a handful of lists at inter level, which you have to remember. Tax rates कभी भी नहीं दिए गए होंगे exams में. A handful of list is there, which you have to remember. So I hope from now on, all of my friends will never make mistakes on calculating the tax and surcharge. But one more thing, if you want more questions to practice, see, there is an income and tax calculator on free for all for the income tax website. Put in your questions, put in the permutation combination we want to make, practice as many questions. Okay. Now we'll come to same concept of surcharge, but with the new scheme. But with the new scheme. So quickly for my friends who do not remember the slab rates for the new scheme. We'll quickly do on the slab rates, then we'll move to the surcharge of it. Okay. So on the new scheme 115 BAC, I'm not going into the depth of what is all. I'll just quickly tell you that yes, new scheme is applicable for individuals, HUF, AOP, BOI, and AGP. When it was introduced earlier or when you have studied earlier, it was only for individuals and HUF. But now it is for AOP, BOI, and AGP also. So basically, on anyone who has slab rates has an option to either go for 115 BAC or your old scheme. Now, 115 BAC is attractive because here, if you see, there are 3 lakh slabs and each has a tax percentage of 5, 10, 15, 20, 30. In contradictory to where the old scheme 10 lakhs above attracts 30%, here it is 15 lakhs above attracts 30%. So definitely, if you just compare a single income, saying a base of 10 lakhs and you will compare the tax, definitely it will come better in the new scheme. But guys, 10 lakh is not a common base. Friends, 10 lakhs is not a common base. Why? Because 10 lakhs is not necessarily would be the same income in both the schemes. Why? Because the difference is the exemptions and the benefits the government has taken for 115 BSc. You do not get most of the deductions under Chapter 6A. You do not get certain exemptions. You do not get certain deductions when we talk about your PGBP calculation. So you have to be very careful as to which choice you have to make. A question in your exam, if comes on comparing the two schemes, would either have certain checkpoints like in the old scheme, some deduction benefit would be there, or in the new scheme, or some certain exemptions which will be there and which are not applicable in the new scheme. And then taking the entire total income on the both scenarios, then you have to calculate the tax. So remember, total income also varies or can also vary in these two scenarios. Now coming to the slab rates. Slab rates are simple. Here everything is increases by 3 lakh. So on the initial 3 lakh, there is no tax. So the basic exemption limit or the maximum amount not chargeable to tax under the new scheme, or under 115 BAC or the default scheme is 3 lakhs. So if a question comes, what is the maximum amount not chargeable to tax is 3 lakhs. 3 lakh to 6 lakh, 5%, 6 lakh to 9 lakh, 10%, 9 to 12, 15, 12 to 15, 20, and 15 lakhs above 30%. So if someone tell you that please calculate the tax on 18 lakhs as per the 115 BAC section. So you will quickly do on the first 3 lakhs nil, on the next 3 lakh 15,000, then 6 lakhs to 9 lakh 30,000, 9 lakh to 12 lakh 45,000, 12 lakh to 15 lakh 60,000, 15 to 80, which is on the final part 90,000. Total lakhs comes to 22 lakh 40,000 as increased by cess of 4%. दोनों में 4% rate है cess का, but remember यहाँ in the new scheme there is no concept of senior citizen or super senior citizen, which is there for the old provisions. So यहाँ पे irrespective of your residential status or of your age, the tax rates which would be applicable are these. Okay. So it was a quick revision on the slab rate. Now we'll quickly move to the surcharge. Surcharge का इसमें almost same है, but one small difference is there, which we'll take up. Unlike why new scheme is also attractive is because unlike your old scheme where the surcharge is of 37%, the surcharge can go to the 37% amount when the income crosses 2 crore. Here, there is the maximum surcharge which is applicable is 25%. Here, the maximum surcharge is applicable is 25%. So ultimately, the case 5 and 6 here, that is not here. Rest all concept is same. Rest all concept is same. That is on an income of on a total income of 50 lakhs to 1 crore, the surcharge would be 10%. On a total income of 1 crore to 2 crore, the surcharge would be 15%. And on an income of more than 2 crore, the surcharge would be 25%. And remember, the moment the income is crossing 2 crore, the same check you have to make. Then on dividend, 111A, 112, and 112A, the maximum surcharge which would be applicable is 15%. Okay. So same thing would be applicable here. The maximum surcharge is 25%. So if suppose that the income is just roughly, if you suppose that income is say 5 crore 60 lakhs, then also the surcharge is applicable at max at 25%. So quickly here, on the case scenario 1, 2, 3, and 4, I'm not moving on the answer below, and I'm giving you 5 minutes. As per the new scheme, please tell me the final taxes. As per the new scheme, please tell me the final taxes on case 1, 2, 3, and 4. पहले तो answer check करा, so you were pretty confident that we are right. Take your quick satisfactory 5 minutes and tell me the tax on case 1, 2, 3, 4. The first person to give all the correct answer will give a shout out. Okay. So quickly, case 1, 2, 3, and 4. For your own confidence, just quickly tell what is the tax is. The final tax amount. With cess and surcharge. कोई ये नहीं बोलेगा कि मैम I forgot to apply cess, I forgot to apply surcharge. Quickly, case 1, 2, 3, and 4. Meanwhile, I'll see what are your questions, if any, pending. Okay, takes 8 minutes. Yeah, Rohit, residential status in the sense of because resident senior citizen and super senior citizen के लिए old scheme has the benefit of maximum amount not chargeable to tax, but that is not here applicable. You will not get a chance to practice again, so please be honest and practice. Rohit, case 4. So time for the reveal, guys. Okay. I hope all of you have the correct answer. Case 1, the answer is 12 lakh 1,200, which most of you have got correct. Very, very good. I'm very happy. Case 2, it is 28 lakh 70,400. Satya, please check kahan pe there is a mistake. Anamika, please check once. Ritika. So who got case 2 correct? Rohit, definitely very good. Komal, very good. Case 3, it is 90 lakh 71,400, which is very good. Swati, correct, everyone. Uh, and case 4 is 64 lakh 58,400. Very good. So Satya, you're all are right except the second case. वहाँ पे कहाँ गड़बड़ हुआ? See, Rohit, your third case is not right. So I think Komal got all the cases right. Very good, Komal. Very, very good. Preeti, see where is the problem? Kahin there is a mismatch. See, it can happen even in my calculation, there can be mistakes. So quickly check. The charge in case 3, friends, would be 15% at 45 lakh ka tax and 25% at 2 crore 15 lakh ka tax. But again, in the other part, it would be 15% in both the situation. Make sure tax calculation may just give a revisit to your tax calculation again because sometimes the calculator है pressing error हो सकता है, so make sure that you do not rush. Very good, Seetkala, and yes, Acharya and Raviraj are more beneficial. See, if you just compare the tax, obviously, Raviraj, the tax and surcharge, both are more beneficial when it comes to 115 BC, but then they are taking certain benefits, right? And honestly, people who are high income group people, they have a lot of exemptions and a lot of deductions to take. So you have to make a very wise choice. Very good, Sada. Very, very good. Suresh, I hope you got it all correct. Okay, so Rohit is saying, okay, ma'am, please explain case 3. Okay, again, on to the case 3. Tax is, I hope this surcharge only is mismatched. Tax nikalenge on 2 crore 60 lakhs. How will you come to 2 crore 60 lakhs? Special rate income is of 20%, उस पे 45 lakh पे 20% लगेगा. See, one more thing, remember whether it's new scheme or whether it's old scheme, the taxes which are applicable on your special rate incomes would always be same. So if 112 is taxable at the rate of 112 is taxable at the rate of 20% in the in general because it's a special rate, it would be 20% even if new and even if it's old. Only difference are of the slab rates. Okay, so 45 lakh pay 20%, 9 lakh. 2 crore 15 lakhs when you will calculate tax as per the new scheme, it would be 61 lakh 50,000. Now, someone asked, ma'am, since now I am pro, can I simply calculate the tax or as per the new scheme by 15 lakhs above amount with 30% as increased by 1 lakh 50,000, which is every slab ka total hai? Yes, you can do it, but do it only when you're confident. Okay, otherwise go as per the conventional method. Now, on the total tax of 70 lakh 50,000, so how will we calculate surcharge? Surcharge simply on the 9 lakh amount, you will calculate surcharge at the rate of 15%. On the 61 lakh 50,000 amount, you will calculate the surcharge at 25% because total income is also crossing 2 crore. Income without such special income is also crossing 2 crore. Surcharge is 25%. Process plus total tax, final. Rohit, where was the mistake? Please share it with everyone so that people can be careful of it. Similarly, for people whose answer did not match, if other than calculation error, if there is any thing which was wrong, please share so that other and everyone can be careful of it, of not making the mistake in exam. ठीक है अभी तक सब आंसर were matching because answer was shown. But good. I hope now you feel confident in calculating the surcharges and taxes. Acha Sadab, I'll do it. Case 6 as per the old scheme, I'll do it. Don't worry. You feel confident now? अच्छा सेस ऐड करना रह गया था. सुजॉय अदर इनकम पे टैक्स सिंपल है केस 2 में. 45 lakhs पे सिंपल 20%. 60 lakhs पे स्लैब रेट्स के अकॉर्डिंग ऑन एन इनकम ऑफ 45 lakh 30% आएगा प्लस 1,50,000 आएगा which will come to total 15 lakhs. Slab rates new scheme. See, Kevin says I calculated the tax on total income and not on total tax. This is what I was saying. Sometimes in rush, we calculate the surcharge on total income. Guys, students, one more thing. Let it be. See, we know that exam may time is the every time is everything. It is just ticking. Why not take 30 seconds to review your calculation again or 1 minute to review your calculation again rather than just making it wrong? एक बारी just make sure that you have calculated, just see your answer, see your presentation, whether I've done it all correct or not. Because हो सकता है, sometimes as my friends are sharing, sometimes we can forget a zero to add, sometimes a calculator instead of if you're writing 1, 2, 3, 4, it has been written 1, 2, 4, 3. It can happen. So always review your tax calculations, always. Swati, very good. Or roughly, like the more you calculate taxes, the more you will have an estimation. Okay, if we are talking about a surcharge of an income of 1 crore 5 lakh, roughly around 30-35% tax होगा. ऐसा ना हो ना 50% tax आ रहा हो या 10% tax आ रहा हो. ठीक है, so that is how you gauge, but that is something which comes from practice. So one of my friend is saying कि मैम case 6 of old scheme एक बार करा दो. Okay, no problem. उसके अलावा I hope all the cases of either new and old surcharge are clear. The screen is visible. Surcharge old scheme. Case 6. 45 lakhs is the special income of 112. 5 crore 10 lakhs is the other income, which is in general slab rates. Old scheme पे guys, ठीक है? Now 5 crore 55 lakhs is the total income. The moment it is crossing 5 crore 55 lakhs, first of all, just do not worry, calculate the taxes. Okay, simple 9 lakh would come at 20%. 5 lakh 10,000 ka slab rate say it would come to 1 crore 51 lakh 12,500. Now, I have to apply surcharge. Point number one. Since the income is crossing 5 crore, yes. Maximum surcharge on special income of four categories would be 15%. So 9 lakh pay, very, very noticeably, I applied surcharge of 15%. Okay. Now, income is crossing 5 crore, yes. Whether 37% would be applicable, I have to see whether my total income is crossing 5 crore, other income is crossing 5 crore, except 45, except the special paid incomes. Answer is yes. It is crossing 5 crore. So, इस पे भी surcharge कितना हो जाएगा? 37%. So, 15% on 9 lakh and 37% on 1 crore, 51 lakhs. If you will ask yourself such questions, you will not make the mistakes. Okay. And then final total tax आ गया with says, is it clear? So that is it clear? अभी marginal relief पे तो आई नहीं. करेंगे प्रीति, marginal relief and rebate भी करेंगे. Everything would be done. Don't worry. Yeah, Ritika, please drop in your query. Abhishek, see, you can switch n number of times from 115 BAC to old scheme, but it is not that half year you will choose 115 BAC and half year you choose the old scheme in the sense of calculation of tax. For the entire year, you have to choose one scheme. That being said, if suppose I pay tax as per 115 BAC this year, I can pay tax as per old scheme in the next year, and then I can come to 115 BAC and the in the next year. But remember, when you are a person who has business income, these switches are not regularly possible. Once you opt out from 115 BAC, if you have business income, you cannot opt in again until and unless you do not have one business income. So for people who have business income, the option to go out of for the scheme is just once. They cannot come in again जब तक उनके पास business income है. The moment the business income is over or there is no more business income, then you can come to 115 BAC again. ओल्ड स्कीम के अकॉर्डिंग ही तो केस किया रितिका ये वाला. The sheet was as per the old scheme. Shreyas, we have already done it again and again. I'll say 1 second. See, when we were doing the calculations, please try to be present at the same time because we have picked it case by case. Case 5 में surcharge पे I'm directly coming. How the surcharge has to be computed? 9 lakh pay, 15%. Why? Because the total income is crossing 5 crore. This is one pretty sure thing that the maximum surcharge here would be 15%. Had the income has not been crossed 1 crore or 2 crore, you would have applied it as per the rates. And now since the total income is crossing 5 crore, 5 crore pay surcharge 37% आता है. But at the same time, at at 112, 1128, 111A, and your dividends surcharges 15%. So 9 lakh by 15%. But on the other income, the question you have to ask whether my total income is crossing 5 crore, yes. But whether my other income, excluding those four incomes, are crossing 5 crore, the answer is no. So why should I pay higher surcharge when it is not crossing 5 crore? So what is the surcharge on an income of a 4 crore fee? 25%. So I applied surcharge of 25%. Got it? Now, like I said, before we go to the break, is the concept of marginal relief on surcharge. I've taken one scenario as per the old scheme. I hope my voice is visible and voice is audible and video is visible. There is no lag. Before we go to the break, I've picked up one, two scenarios which we'll be solving. Okay. So I've taken up all the question on marginal relief basis your section 115 BAC. You can do it again. I'll give you practice skill B. Just 1 second. What is the concept of marginal relief on surcharge and why it is there? So, guys, marginal relief or surcharge is a very important concept. Why? We'll do one question and the why would be pretty much clear. See, suppose surcharge से क्या होता है? The tax, because of tax on tax, the total liability increases, correct? The total liability increases. And even if when your income is marginally increasing, suppose you're on an income of 49 lakh 50,000, and just because of adding 1 lakh more, it comes to 50 lakh 50,000. 49 lakh and 50,000 and 50 lakh 50,000 में obviously you say कि मैम tax तो ज़्यादा होगा because income is more, definitely tax would be more. That I totally agree that the tax would be more. But there is one concept is that the moment surcharge gets applicable, the tax gets multiplied in the sense of not just because of the slab rate, but it also increases because of the surcharge. So even if the income would have been increased by a marginal amount of 40, 50,000, just because it falls now on a bracket of 50 lakhs above, just because it falls on a bracket of 50 lakhs above, now the surcharge is applicable. So what is the concept of marginal relief? Marginal relief comes in a pace when the income is marginally increasing, but the tax is increasing exponentially high. The income is increasing by itna. The income is increasing by itna. What is this difference? The difference is when the surcharge is not applicable or when the surcharge is applicable at a lower rate to when the new surcharge is applicable just because the income has increased by a certain extent. But the tax is increasing by itna. So this difference is the marginal relief. So this is how I can explain it. When your income is increasing by merely a lakh or so, but when your tax in comparison is increasing by a lot more amount, the additional amount becomes your relief. Relief matlab, as a SSC, I will get that amount as deduction as a relief and I will not pay tax on it. I will not pay tax on it. For example, the example is here on your screen. Person who's having an income of 50 lakhs has to pay tax. He's not applicable for surcharge, right? So he paid tax on the income, on an income of 50 lakhs, the tax is coming to be 12 lakh. As my voice is not clear, everything is clear now? Okay. So on an income of 50 lakhs, the tax is coming to be 12 lakh. Abhi I'm not putting the cess in place. But the moment, friends, above dekho, the moment the income comes to 51 lakhs, tax 12 lakh 30,000 हुआ. Yes, that makes sense because income increase हो रहा है, तो obviously slab rates के according tax increase होगा. That we all agree that since the income is increasing, tax definitely will increase. We're not disagreeing on it. But the tax is going at a speed of 100 and the income is increasing only at a speed of 50. That we have to see the difference. Income, but the moment 51 lakhs hua, कि surcharge would be applicable because the income is crossing 50 lakhs. So you calculated tax 12 lakh 30,000 and you calculated surcharge 1 lakh 23,000. So अब देखो total tax plus surcharge कितना हो गया? 50 lakhs पे tax कितना आना था? 12 lakh. But 51 lakhs पे tax is coming to 13 lakh 53,000. My income increased from 50 to 51, but my tax on 50 to 51 increased from 12 lakh to 13 lakh 53,000. Sense है कुछ इस बात का? In the sense, is it not right? It is not right. Income is increasing by just merely 11 lakh, but tax is increasing by 1 lakh 50,000, 3,000. Sorry, income is increasing by just merely 1 lakh and the tax is increasing by 1 lakh 53,000. Income इतने से बढ़ा, tax इतना बढ़ गया. So this 53,000, which is exponentially high, which is even higher than the difference of income, which is even higher that even if I apply 100% tax on increase on income, still it is more than that. Still it is more than that. So this difference of ये वाला difference, जो ये 53,000 का difference है, वो would be given to you as a relief. That would be given to you as a relief. So 13,53,000 we calculated tax plus surcharge. इसमें से ये 53,000 is a relief on surcharge. So now the new surcharge comes to 70,000. The new surcharge comes to 70,000. 123 minus 50, 70,000. So the final tax here, my friend, is 12 lakh 30,000, on which the charge was 123, but then there is a relief of 53. So 12 lakh 30 plus 70,000, total tax comes to 13 lakh, increase by cess comes to 13 lakh 52,000. That means as simple as when the income is increasing by a marginal amount, but the tax increases more than the 100% of income. So whatever is the additional amount, whatever is the additional amount would be given as relief on surcharge, would be given as relief on surcharge, and the new surcharge would be after that relief. Now that would be increased by the cess and final tax liability would come. Again, my friends, in question you will not get calculate the relief. आपको question बस ये होगा, your trigger point is your I should say alert point is that when the surcharge, when the income is at the level of just 1-2 lakh above the immediate prior surcharge limit, जैसे 50 lakh का 51 या 5150, और when we talk about 1 crore, 1 crore 10 lakh नहीं, 1 crore 1 lakh, or 1 crore 15, 1 crore 1 lakh, or 1 crore 15, 1 crore 15,000, ऐसे कुछ marginally increase हो रहा है ना, then you have to be super attentive. So up to an extent of 1 or 1.5 lakh, ऐसे extent हो रहा है, then you have to be super attentive. Okay, then you have to compare it. We'll do one more question, you'll get one more better clarity. एक बार ये question देखो. Is there any doubt? Marginal relief for surcharge is available to everyone, old, new, everyone. Roop, no ma'am, क्या? I'm doing the question as per the new scheme, and the homework will do it as per the old scheme. No, only difference if less than 50,000 nahi. When the increase in income is more than increase, when the increase in tax is more than the increase in income, then the excess amount is given as relief. This is the concept of marginal relief. When the increase in income is less, or I should say when the increase in tax is more than increase in income, the additional amount is given as relief on the tax which you are calculating, or on the surcharge which you are calculating. Marginal relief is Satya there for 115 BAC also, and it is there for general provisions also. Rather, it is there for all assessees also, companies, individual, HUF, AOP, सबके लिए marginal relief का concept है, because the moment surcharge comes into picture, the taxes increases manifold. Marginally income increase हो रहा है, but taxes increases more than marginal. The taxes increases more than margin, so it is applicable for everyone. Cess का calculation would come afterwards, after the relief. Okay, no? But your trigger point is when the income is like 51 or at max at 51 lakh 50,000 or 1 crore 1 lakh or 1 crore 1 lakh 50,000 ऐसे तब आपको ध्यान देना है कि relief is there. No one again I'm saying would tell कि calculate marginal relief. हाँ अगर MCQ comes, but otherwise if a direct tax question is coming, you have to be attentive by yourself. Just like you have to be attentive while applying surcharge, no one tells you apply surcharge. Similarly, no one will tell you apply marginal relief. So, but I'll do that. Just give me some time so that everyone is on the same page. I'll do that. Due to cess नहीं cess से पहले before cess. So for example, we will do one more question, which will give you one more clarity. Adi Santan and everyone, marginal relief is a concept applicable in both the schemes, new and old in both the schemes, and applicable for all assessees. Now, case two, we'll do case two. Here, there is one more thing which you have to remember. I'll do it as per the new scheme. You do it as per the old scheme, okay? Or I'll give you a question as per the old scheme. So on your screen, you have been given a person, okay, who has an income of 1 crore 1 lakh. Now, 1 crore 1, आपको question में ये नहीं करना, you have to be very careful. Now, you are calculating an income of one tax on 1 crore 1 lakh. What you will do? Step one is you'll calculate the tax as per slab rate. ठीक है? Up to 1 lakh 50, up to 50, more than 15 lakhs per 30% and added by 1 lakh 50,000, which is coming as per slab. ठीक है? 2730 आया. सबका 2730 आ गया as per the new slab rates. Does everyone got 27 lakh 30,000 as the tax calculation? Okay. Now, on 1 crore 1 lakh 2730 आ गया. By default, which we have studied right now, we will say कि मैम ने कहा था the income is more than 1 crore, you have to apply surcharge of 15%. We applied surcharge of 15%. So tax is coming to 31 lakh 39,500. यहाँ तक कोई problem नहीं है. यहाँ पे you will stop. Why you will stop? Because you notice, oh, income is just marginally increasing. यानी marginally increasing from the previous higher surcharge or from the previous surcharge. So you will stop yourself and you will stop it here. Okay. So you say कि, oh, income is just marginally increasing. Let me see, is the concept of marginal relief applicable? What you will do? अब वो marginal relief कैसे applicable? Why it would be applicable? Because surcharge rates got different. 1 crore तक surcharge rate was 10%. 1 crore 1 lakh पे surcharge rate is coming to 15%. So there can be a thing that maybe just marginally income is increasing, but it can happen the tax would be increasing ज़्यादा because surcharge rate has varied. Let's check. So I checked on 1 crore what would have been a situation. On 1 crore the tax would have come to 27 lakh and with surcharge of 10%. Why 10%? Because up to an income of 1 crore, surcharge is 10%. Surcharge would have, tax the surcharge would have been 29 lakh 70,000. Now I was like, on an income which has increased by just 1 lakh, the surcharge in tax is increasing by 1,69,500. It is increasing by 1,69,500. That means this is the case of marginal relief. Why? Because the income is increasing just by 1 lakh, but the tax is increasing by 1,69,500. So the difference, which is the extra amount, which is this amount, would be your relief. So this would be your relief, because the concept say even if I tax 100% of increase of income, still it is more than that. अगर मैं 1 लाख जो बड़ा है उस पे पूरा का पूरा टैक्स लगा दूं, that means 1 lakh, still with surcharge it is increasing exponentially. So the additional amount, the difference would be relief. So up this 69,500 is relief on surcharge. पहले surcharge कितना था? 4,09,500 being 15% of this. But now surcharge would be 4,09,500 minus 69,500, which is this. So the total tax comes to 2730 plus 340 comes to 30,70,000. उस पे with cess आया 31,92,800. This is how you have to interact to yourself and ask question if this is the scenario or not. You will definitely get it correct. हाँ, इतनी जोर से एग्जाम हॉल पे बात मत करना, but otherwise this is how you have to do it. Very good, Rohit. ठीक है? So I hope it is clear. Remember, you have to do it before cess. Good, Swati. Good, good, good. Okay, so I'll leave you all with some break because I also know बहुत सारा surcharge and cess हो गया. So I'll give you some break here. Uh, just 1 second. In case you have more hunger to practice, 1 minute. I'll leave you here with one question. As per old scheme, for a person age 65 years, age is 65 years, you have to calculate the relief, or you have to calculate. हाँ, अगर MCQ हुआ, please be very careful. MCQ में what are they asking? Whether they are asking the tax, whether they are asking about the marginal relief. ये ना हो कि आप tax के आंसर पे टिक कर दो when the question is calculate the marginal relief. Marginal relief is the relief which you are giving. Okay, so be careful about that also. So you have to calculate this as per the old scheme for a person who is age of 65 years, and we'll be back. Okay. So meanwhile, please have something, have a quick break and be back in next 10 minutes. Thank you. So sorry guys for a bit longer break. There was some electricity issue. Now we are back and we'll start with the rebate concept. Just 1 second. So I hope everyone got the correct answer. I can see most of them of you have got. Anamika, very good. Komal, very, very good. So now I feel that you feel confident that yes, I know how to calculate surcharge. I know how to calculate relief on surcharge. I know how to basically see when the surcharge rate is applicable, what surcharge rate is applicable, what type of when the marginal relief concept is applicable. I am pretty confident if the question asks surcharge, I know what to calculate. If a question asks relief on surcharge, what to calculate. Okay, so now we will move on to another concept in this tax calculation scenario is a concept of rebate. Is a concept of rebate. Guys, 9 o'clock, you all would be allowed to have an interactive session. So before we proceed or before we proceed to that interactive session, I quickly want to cover up the rebate concept. So in the next 20 minutes, we'll focus on the concept of rebate, which is very, very important because there have been certain changes by the Finance Act 23 regarding the relief on rebate. वो भी हम देखेंगे, ठीक है? So answer, Gayatri, I shared it. The answer is here. Sorry, 1 lakh, 1 crore 93,000, 1 crore 93 lakh 57,000 on a total income of 5 crore 1 lakh. इसमें से टैक्स निकाला विद सरचार्ज, फिर इसको कंपेयर किया विद 5 करोड़. अब 5 करोड़ पे सरचार्ज आप क्या लगाओगे? जस्ट लाइक व्हाट यू वुड हैव डन इफ द इनकम वुड हैव बीन 5 करोड़. कंपेयर इट, एडिशनल इंक्रीज and additional increase in tax, additional increase in income. If it tax increase is more than additional increase in income, it's a case of marginal relief. जितना भी excess amount है is a relief on surcharge. Relief on surcharge. Surcharge में से छूट मिला है, okay? Now, what is the concept of rebate? See, guys, income tax, they try to give us certain benefits where we can, where our incomes are exempt. Then there are certain benefits of deductions where our total income gets reduced by amount based on the conditions that we fulfill. Then there are benefits in case of basic exemption limit or slab rates so that people who are earning less do not have to pay a lot of tax. But then there is one more benefit, which is a benefit called rebate. इसको हम relief नहीं बोलेंगे, we will call it as rebate. This benefit is given under section 87A. ठीक है? This benefit is given under section 87A, which tells about a rebate. Rebate किस पे? Tax पे. Deductions किस पे होते हैं? Income पे. Deduction is on income, exemption is for income, deduction is on income, rebate is on tax. के tax में से भी आपको we will give you some discount, a sort of discount, a sort of shoot. ठीक है? Relief is one aspect which we studied was on relief on surcharge, जिसमें surcharge में से there was a certain relaxation. Relief मतलब relaxation कि हाँ भाई इतना ज्यादा मत दो because it does not make sense. Similarly, rebate is a concept on tax के tax में there is a certain discounting. सबसे पहले सबसे पहले only resident individual gets it. This concept is not for HUF. This concept is only for resident individual. They get it when the income is up to 5 lakh. अब वो total income is up to 5 lakh, उसमें कुछ भी income हो, the moment the income goes to 5 lakh 1,000, rebate है ही नहीं. Concept rebate का mind से हटा दे. मतलब आपको लगाना ही नहीं है. So your trigger point here is, what is your total income? If it is up to 5 lakh, you have to be attentive that again, question में नहीं बोला जाएगा that you have to apply rebate. You have to automatically apply rebate. Automatically apply it. So the moment your income is 4 lakh, 3 lakh 50,000, 5 lakh, मतलब tax आ रहा है, because of the slab rates, but it is up to 5 lakh under old scheme. This is what we are doing as per old scheme. Attentive everyone, old scheme कर रहे हैं. ठीक है? So the moment it is that, you will apply rebate. कैसे लगेगा rebate? So the act says, the line says the income up to 5 lakhs, on an income up to 5 lakhs, there is a rebate under section 87A for the tax amount or 12,500, whichever is lower. So इसलिए मैंने maximum rebate लिखा है 12,500. रिफंड नहीं आएगा इस वजह से कि आप उनसे पैसे लो, नहीं. So either the tax amount or 12,500, whichever is lower, you will get. So suppose, और ये 12,500 उन्होंने पहले स्ट्रेटेजिकली निकाला कि 5 लाख पे जनरली टैक्स भी 12,500 आता है. सो लेट सपोज वी हैव अ पर्सन हु इज मिस्टर एक्स हु हैज एन इनकम ऑफ 4,50,000. नाउ उस पे टैक्स निकालेंगे. फर्स्ट यू विल कंप्यूट द टैक्स. द टैक्स वुड बी 0 to 250 nil, 250 to 450, that is on the next 2 lakhs, it is 5%. तो आपने किया 10,000. So you say 10,000 is the tax. Less rebate. Less rebate, which you will say 12,500 or the tax amount, that is 10,000. So the tax is coming to be nil. Can we safely say that up to an income of 5 lakh, there would be no tax? The answer is yes, we can safely say it, but we have to be very precautious that the total income, if has any special income, then we have to be very precautious. Because if total income में कोई special income है, तब भी rebate मिलेगा, but one condition excluded. So we have to be not very overconfident कि मैम 5 लाख तक तो tax नहीं आएगा. No, suppose you have 5 lakh का capital gain, all income is capital gain. You will give basic exemption limit, unexhausted basic exemption limit का benefit. Then you will apply 20%. Then you will see कि tax or 12,500, whichever is lower, that has to be taken up. ठीक है? So you have to be very, very careful on giving the rebate. Overconfidence में कुछ मत करना. Again and again, I'm saying, make sure you calculate tax twice. So suppose, but rebate is not allowed. Not allowed, please write it carefully, on special income taxable under section 112A. इस पे रिबेट नहीं मिलती, बिकॉज इसकी टैक्स कैलकुलेशन पे ऑलरेडी 1 लाख का आपको एग्जेम्पशन मिल जाता है, राइट? यू कैलकुलेट टैक्स ऑन ओनली एन अमाउंट विच इज इन एक्सेस ऑफ 1 लाख. सो इस पे रिबेट नहीं मिलता. You do not get rebate on this. So let me give you one question to solve. अभी we are doing only as per the old concept. कोई भी ये नहीं कहेगा कि बेसिक एग्जेम्पशन लिमिट 5 लाख हो गई मैम बिकॉज टैक्स नहीं है. नो, there is tax on an income of more than 2,50,000, but then because of rebate, in most of the scenarios, if there is no special income, if there is no special income, in most of the scenarios, tax can be nil. But when there is special income, we have to be double careful because we have to see what is the other income, if there's any unexhausted basic exemption limit being used or not. Okay. 112 is applicable on rebate. Rebate is not applicable on 112A, Gayatri. So now I am giving you quick question. 1 second. Calculate the tax as per old scheme only, where your other income is 3,10,000. Short-term capital gain under section 111A, 1 lakh. And long-term capital gain under section 112 is 150,000. Okay, total income comes to 460. Just if you do not remember, short-term capital gain under 11A is taxable at 15%. ये पेपर में नहीं दिया होगा. Again and again I'm saying this is at 20%. Quickly tell me what is the tax amount, if any. और अगर उसके बाद कुछ बचता है, then you will apply cess. This has to be done before cess because this is on your दिस इज ऑन योर टैक्स अमाउंट, ठीक है। सो बिफोर सेस आपको निकालना है, बिफोर सेस। गायत्री, इट इज एप्लीकेबल इन बोथ द स्कीम। अभी आई एम डूइंग एज पर ओल्ड स्कीम, न्यू स्कीम में देयर इज अ बिट वेरिएशन। अभी प्लीज डू इट एज पर द ओल्ड स्कीम। So I've got some answers, and surprisingly, all answers are different. So I request everyone to quickly please check your calculation again. So this is very interesting now. 115 BSc वाला क्वेश्चन नहीं है, अभी नॉर्मल स्कीम्स के अकॉर्डिंग निकालो क्विक। इजी सा है, वेरी क्विक है, वेरी क्विक। 3,10,000, 111A वाला कैपिटल गेन इज 1 लाख, एंड 112 वाला इज 50,000। So on 310 you will get 1 लाख पे 15,000, 50,000 पे 10,000, 20%, 310 पे 3,000। गाइस थोड़ा जल्दी प्लीज। ठीक है, टोटल कम्स टू 15,005। तो मैं से किसका आंसर इज 16,120, दैट इज करेक्ट। थैंक यू सो मच गायत्री, मले, वेरी गुड, वेरी गुड। देन हु डिड इट राइट? सुमित, वेरी गुड। रूहानी, कोमल, सुपर, वेरी नाइस, वेरी वेरी गुड। क्लैपिंग फॉर यू ऑल। ऐसे तो बहुत बेसिक है, इसको हम 310 पे कितना आया? 3,000 टैक्स। इस पे 15%, एंड इस पे 20%। टोटल किया 28,000 माइनस 10,500। सेकेंड, जब भी टैक्स पूछा जाए यू विल टेल इट विद सेस, ठीक है। 12,500 करके रिलीफ आया, 15,500, टोटल आ गया 61,120। सिंपल, मैच हुआ। सेस मिस्ड अगेन, सेस सेस। अब ऐसे रोहित, यू विल रिमेंबर, यू विल नॉट मिस सेस व्हेन यू आर गिविंग इट इन एग्जाम। तभी टैक्स कैलकुलेशन गाइस वी आर प्रैक्टिसिंग अ लॉट सो दैट यू डोंट मिस स्मॉल स्मॉल थिंग। 15,500 is the amount Satya after rebate. 28,000 tax आ रहा है ऐसे, but after rebate it is coming to 15,500, 12,500 की rebate मिल गई। Tax amount or the rebate amount. अब all you champs quickly tell me the tax. If एक second, case 2, यहाँ पे थोड़ा सा वेरिएशन करेंगे। इंस्टेड ऑफ 3 लाख विल मेक इट 310। इसको हम LTCG अंडर सेक्शन जिसको भी थोड़ा सा पता है 112A कर देंगे 120 करके और से 130। हाँ, नाउ यू हैव टू कैलकुलेट द टैक्स 112 में इन एक्सेस ऑफ 1 लाख, in excess of 1 lakh 10% is applicable. Up quickly tell ki what is the tax rebate amount. But remember, rebate is not applicable on 112A. So what is the total final tax amount? Final tax amount after cess. I'll also do, you will also do. Let's see. No overconfidence, आराम से. First one to give it correct would again get a shout out. The answer correct is 3,120. Very good, Komal. Very good. Komal was the first one to correct it. Very good. Sujoy, Malay, Sumit, superb. After six. कॉन्फिडेंस आ गया. श्योर. इसमें चलो बाय चांस वो 12,500 ही हो रहा था. अगर इसको हम रिड्यूस कर दें टू 40,000. So the new question is the income is 40,000 क्या लॉन्ग टर्म कैपिटल गेन. अब यहाँ पे देखो कहाँ, यहाँ पे तो आपने फ्लैट 20,500 लग गया तो यू डिड नॉट गेट द सेंस ऑफ द कॉन्सेप्ट. नाउ टेल द इनकम इज रिड्यूस टू 40,000 नाउ. तब कितना आंसर आएगा? गाइस आप आई थिंक आप लोगों को कैपिटल गेन के रेट्स याद नहीं है. कैपिटल गेन्स में इफ यू गो टू लॉन्ग टर्म कैपिटल गेन अंडर 112A इट इज टैक्स एट द रेट ऑफ 10% इन एक्सेस ऑफ 1 लाख. तो अगर 130 इनकम है तो 30,000 पे टैक्स होता है एट 10%. 230 इनकम है तो 1,30,000 पे होगा. 1 लाख के ऊपर जो होगा उस पे टैक्स लगेगा. अगेन 3120. वेरी गुड. अब यहाँ पे रिबेट कितने का दिया आपने? How much was the rebate given in this scenario? Only of the amount of only of the amount of 10,500. Very good, Ruhani. Very good, Komal. I'm so happy and so glad that you people are understanding these small details and small concepts. यहाँ पे बस टैक्स कैलकुलेट आई थिंक आप लोगों को नहीं आता, विच इज जब आप कैपिटल गेन, इफ यू डू कैपिटल गेन, वंस द कैपिटल गेन इज रिवाइज, देन यू विल गेट टू नो कि टैक्स कैसे कैलकुलेट होते हैं. तभी आई एम नॉट, इफ यू हैव एनी डाउट और इफ यू हैव अ थॉट इन माइंड मैम व्हाट इज अनएग्जॉस्ट बेसिक एग्जामिशन लिमिट, वो कैपिटल गेन आई थिंक जब होगा तब देर वुड बी मोर क्लैरिटी एंड कॉन्फिडेंस ऑन इट, सो इसलिए आई एम नॉट टचिंग दैट एस्पेक्ट. बट जस्ट फॉर अ क्विक टेलिंग, दीज आर फ्लैट रेट्स. जैसे आपको पता है स्पेशल रेट्स आर फ्लैट रेट्स. वट एवर इज द रेट 20%, then 20% would be applicable based on the income. But on 112A, the rate is 10%, but that is in excess of the income of 1 lakh. So अगर income 1,50,000 है, तो excess of 1 lakh यानी 50,000 पे 10% लगेगा. अगर income 112A में सिर्फ 70,000 है, so there would be no tax. ऐसा होता है, ठीक है. जो भी excess of 10% होता है, excess of 1 lakh होता है, उस पे 10% लगता है. Only in case of 112A. This is just for your quick revision at this point. So now, but remember 112A पे रिबेट नहीं मिलती. So in this case, friends, हमने टैक्स निकाला, स्लैब रेट पे 2500 आया, 130 पे 3000 आया. क्यों? इन एक्सेस ऑफ 1 लाख, दैट इज 30,000 पे 10%, एंड 40,000 पे 20% आया 8,000. टोटल टैक्स कम्स टू 13,500. मैम फर्स्ट चेक रेजिडेंट इंडिविजुअल है, यस. These are the checkpoints. Again and again, I'm saying, when you want to make notes, when you want to be attentive, make sure that these are the checkpoints which you take care of. ठीक है. मैम इनकम इज लेस देन 5 लाख और अप टू 5 लाख, रिबेट का केस है, यस. रिबेट इज टैक्स और 12,500 विच एवर इज लोअर, यस. बट रिबेट इज नॉट देयर ऑन 112A. ये 3 पॉइंट्स अगर आप चेक करोगे, यू विल नेवर गेट योर रिबेट रॉन्ग. सो नाउ हियर इनकम इज लेस देन, इनकम इज अप टू 5 लाख, फाइन. मैम रिबेट होना चाहिए टैक्स और 12,500. तो आप इसमें से 13,500 में से 12,500 माइनस कर दोगे, नहीं. Why? Because rebate is not applicable on 3,000. So when the rebate is not applicable on 3,000, तो आपके लिए tax rebate is 12,500 or the tax amount which is 10,500, which is lower 10,500. So you will reduce it. यहाँ पे मुझे ना ऐसे कर देना चाहिए. 1 second. Less rebate of 10,500. Now it comes to 3,000. And अब इस पे you apply your 1.04%. ठीक है, अब समझ आया? सिनेरियो वेरिएशन समझ आया? 3 पॉइंट सिंपल रिबेट के लिए. इफ द इनकम इज मोर देन 5 लाख, नो रिबेट. इफ द इनकम इज अप टू 5 लाख, रिबेट. रेजिडेंट इंडिविजुअल है, रिबेट. एंड वेदर दैट देर इज नो रिबेट ऑन 112. सिंपल. 112 का जो टैक्स होगा उस पर कोई रिबेट नहीं होगा. तो द एलिजिबल टैक्स फॉर रिबेट इज 2,500 and 8,000 in this case, versus 12,500, which is not 10,500. So that would be a rebate. समझ आया guys? See, these questions step by step approach, so you will not get anywhere except this class. So please focus and please do it. Sadab, very good. Ruhani, very, very good. Soumya, is it any doubt here? क्योंकि 3,000 is not eligible, तो 10,500 only is eligible, or 12,500, which is the maximum rebate amount, which is lower 10,500. 112A पे रिबेट नहीं मिलेगा. Guys, if this is clear, then we will move to the last concept, which is very important, which is rebate in case of new scheme, which is 115 BAC. अगर यहाँ पे clarity है, तो we will move ahead. For Janya and everyone who are not getting why 3000 is coming, I'm repeating again. Once you will do capital gain, you will get more clarity. But for now, you have to remember that when there is a tax under section 112A, which is long-term capital gain on equity shares, equity-oriented mutual funds, or your units of business trust, when the income is this, the tax on this is 10%, but in excess of 1 lakh. But on an income which is excess of 1 lakh. So suppose an income is 5 lakhs, so you will apply tax at the rate of 10% on 4 lakhs. Suppose the income under this particular section is 3 lakh 20. So you will apply tax at the rate of 10% on 220. Now here, since the income is 1 lakh 30, so 1 lakh excess पे जितनी income है, that is on 30,000, 10% is applicable. So you can say while calculating the tax on 112A, there is an exemption or a relief or an amount which is on which tax is not applicable is 1 lakh. When you calculate specifically tax of 112A, इसलिए यहाँ पे एक star mark किया हुआ है. Just 5 minutes Aparna ma'am, just last concept. The exactly same concept goes to 115 BAC. Okay, Ritika, rebate is allowed on the entire income. ये जो LTCG under 112A है और खाली उस पे रिबेट नहीं मिलता. Only on that उसके टैक्स पे रिबेट नहीं मिलता, इसलिए that tax was not considered to calculate the rebate. So next and the final part, please focus, is when the rebate is as per the new scheme. यहाँ पे भी सेम कॉन्सेप्ट्स लगेगा, ओनली ऑन रेजिडेंट इंडिविजुअल. बट यहाँ पे गाइस व्हाट इज अट्रैक्टिव पार्ट इज वहां पे रिबेट इज अप टू एन इनकम ऑफ 5 lakhs. यहाँ पे रिबेट इज अप टू एन इनकम ऑफ 7 lakhs. So up to 7 lakh income, you might not get any tax if there is just general income. And the maximum rebate is 25,000. क्योंकि जनरली अगर 7 लाख पे स्लैब रेट के अकॉर्डिंग करो तो 25,000 आती है. ठीक है. सो एंड हियर ऑल्सो 112A tax under section 112A is not eligible for rebate. इसको कैपिटल लेटर्स में लिख लो. Is not eligible for rebate. Okay, so now we'll proceed. Income up to 7 lakh and maximum rebate is 25,000. सेम कॉन्सेप्ट है. यहाँ पे भी 7 लाख की इनकम पे 25,000 तक का रिबेट है. मैम 6 लाख इनकम में रिबेट मिलेगा? यस मिलेगा. सो अगर इसी पार्ट पे हम चले, and if I tell you, as per the new scheme, you have to calculate a rebate for a person having an income of 690. So what you will do, you will calculate tax as per 690. Tax on 690, and then you will reduce as less rebate, which is tax amount. Tax on 690 is coming to 24,000, as you can see as per the slab rates. Yeah, 6,90,000 pay. What is happening? 1 second. Yeah. 690 पे tax is coming to 24,000. इस पे हो जाएगा लेस रिबेट ऑफ 24,000. तो टैक्स वुड बी निल. अब यहाँ पे एक डिफरेंस है. Here there is one difference. Here there is one benefit rather, which is given to the new scheme people. Please listen carefully. The difference is sort of a marginal relief. Marginal relief. On rebate नहीं बोलूंगी. एक बेसिक मार्जिनल रिलीफ है जो दिया है इफ रिबेट इज नॉट एप्लीकेबल. अभी तक ओल्ड स्कीम में हमने क्या पढ़ा? प्लीज लिसन. इफ द इनकम इज अप टू 5 lakh, rebate is 12,500. The moment the income increases only even by 1 rupee, rebate would not be given. Rebate would not be given. This is what we understood in the previous concept, right? जिसमें we all had the clarity. But here, my friends, as per the new scheme, जोर से बोल रही हूँ, as per the new scheme, the moment your the moment your income crosses 7 lakh, you will say कि rebate is not applicable. No, this is not the case. यहाँ पे if the income is crossing marginally by 7 lakh, अब उससे क्या होगा? टैक्स आ जाएगा. तो they say okay, we will give you some sort of relief, some sort of benefit, so that you do not feel overburdened. Marginally आपसे benefit, marginally थोड़ा सा benefit देंगे कि just because of an income from reaching from 7 lakh 1,000 हो जाती है, we will not take a complete rebate problem. We will not take a complete rebate outrightly. We will give you a rebate to a certain extent. Let's see how. Meanwhile, ma'am, we can share the speaking rights while I'm doing this question so that they can also comfortably discuss this. So suppose करो a friend of mine has an income of 720. तो 720 में बोलोगे मैम ने तो कहा था 7 लाख तक के रिबेट में मिलता है. ये 7 लाख तक पे मिलता है रिबेट, बट लेट्स टेक इट इन अ वे. 720 पे गाइस टैक्स कितना आया? 27,000 एज पर द स्लैब. और यही अगर मेरा इनकम 7 लाख होता, would there have been tax? No. Why? Because there is a rebate under section 87A. Would there have been a tax? No. Why? Because of the rebate under section 87A. अब वही प्रॉब्लम हो गया that income got increased by 20,000, 7 lakh to 720, but rebate चला गया तो टैक्स कितना इंक्रीज हो गया? 27,000. बिकॉज यही मेरा अगर इनकम 7 लाख होता, had this been income been 7 lakh, I would have got nil tax liability. But now, just because my income got increased by a marginal amount, I'm getting a tax liability of 27,000. Right? Marginal amount or some few thousands, I'm getting a tax liability of 27,000, which is not right. So, same एक relief का concept लगाया. When increase in taxes are more than increase in income, the additional amount, which is the more than 100% of the increase in income, would be given to you as a relief. So, since increase in income कितना हुआ? 20,000. Increase in taxes कितना हो गया? 27,000. So, this 7,000, my friends, will be given as rebate to the assessee. Even if as per 87A वो लिख रहा है up to the income of 7 lakh, you will get a rebate of 12,000 or 25,000. But if an income marginally increases, then also you will get a rebate of the additional more than 100% of the amount which you are paying as tax. So यहाँ पे 7,000 का a person will get rebate. 7,000 का a person will get rebate, and the new tax would be 27,000 minus 7,000 as rebate. Which is a marginal relief term में 20,000 उस पे सेस ऐड होके 20,800 हो गया. सो इन कंपैरिजन टू द लायबिलिटी ऑफ 27,000 प्लस सेस, 7,000 का एक रिलीफ मिल गया एंड द फाइनल टैक्स लायबिलिटी प्लस सेस इज कमिंग टू 20,800. If the increase in income is less than increase in tax, So obviously there is no concept of relief on rebate when or marginal relief or marginal rebate. But when the increase in income is more than increase in tax, sorry, when the increase in tax is more than increase in income, then only this concept will cover. और ये concept marginal relief का Satya has very rightly said, and I'm saying it again, and please mark it, this is only applicable in case of new scheme. ओल्ड स्कीम में 5 लाख से ज्यादा जैसे ही क्रॉस हुआ यू हैव टू पे द टैक्स. दैट्स व्हाई द मोमेंट योर इनकम इवन क्रॉसेस बाय सम थाउजेंड्स, एकदम से 12,500, मतलब एकदम से द लायबिलिटी कम्स टू सम 10,000 एक्सेट्रा. बट हियर यू विल गेट सम सॉर्ट ऑफ रिलीफ. ऐसा नहीं है कि टैक्स नहीं आएगा, डेफिनेटली टैक्स आएगा 7 लाख एंड अबव, बट विथ सम रिलीफ कॉम्पोनेंट, Ma'am, we can open up for the interactive session. Please, guys, please, everyone, whosoever will be asking the query, name yourself, do not overlap each other, and one by one, we will solve it, okay?
Yeah, good morning, students. I am Aparna Chauhan, C. Aparna Chauhan, BS faculty. See, now this is the time for query raising. So, technical team, you can provide them the right for unmuting. But students, please keep in mind that you have to raise your query one by one only. And Ridhima, ma'am, do you have any other illustration or example which you want to explain this concept of marginal relief?
I'll take one more example if people insist. I can take another example.
So I think, student, it would be better that if you do that example first, then you can raise your queries, right? Because these are the things now which you are making, small points which you are missing when you do these kinds of computations will strengthen. So it's better to, practice first. Then in case you have further doubts regarding it, that you can definitely, as I seen that she is regularly, keep check your queries on the chat box and replying you then and there. But in case if you want to, interact in a audio mode, then you definitely come and ask. But I think it would be better that first you take up that illustration so that this concept will further be, they will be understand this concept better way. Technical team, meanwhile, you can definitely provide them the muting right, unmuting right. These students are really very sincere and obeying whatever we are following. So this kind of approach is really appreciable, and we are very happy that in the last class we asked you that please write your name and all. So I saw that most of you have written your name along with the registration number. It's really very, very good. And I don't think in between you want to interrupt Ridhima ma'am. She will be, taking up that illustration. So technical team, you can provide them. Definitely, they will not unnecessarily interfere, and they will first do that illustration, then they will raise the queries.
Okay, let's see. So everyone confidently try to attempt this question, which you can see on the screen. This is even part of your module also. This is for a friend Pawan who has an income of 7,15,000, and see the composition is also pretty clearly given with salary and interest. Compute the tax liability for assessment year 24-25 under the default tax regime. Again and again, I'm saying in case generally the question would be clear. If the question is not clear, which scheme has to follow, please give your assumption very clearly. By default, you should do 115 BAC, but if you're going for old scheme, please write your assumptions very clearly in exams. Quickly try to practice. So this is a concept which is marginal rebate. Again, while you're doing it, I'll give you a quick pointer. Marginal rebate is a concept only applicable on the new scheme. एक तो rebate है, which is applicable on both, which is as per 87A, which is applicable on both, where in old scheme, the section says to an income of 5 lakh, you'll get a rebate of 12,500. It will not be there and for an income which is chargeable under section 112A and is only applicable for resident individuals. So one check you also have to make is you have to apply it only on resident individuals. Resident HUF pay या AOP pay, please do not apply it. Concept is there for the new scheme which says that up to an income of 7 lakh, there's a rebate of tax amount or 25,000, whichever is less, also is not applicable on 112A. But there's another concept in new scheme only, which is a marginal rebate concept, where when the income is increasing marginally beyond 7 lakhs, but the tax is increasing more than the increase in income, the excess amount is given as a marginal rebate to the assessee, and then the final amount is calculated as tax, and then cess is added. Meet surcharge, beat rebate, beat relief. The cess is calculated at the end. So one friend of us has given very rightly the correct answer, which is 15,600. Simple tax calculate kiya 7,15,000 paid comes to 26,500. Increase in income is 11,500, whereas increase in tax is more than, sorry, increase in income is 15,000 and increase in tax is 26,500. So the additional amount, which is 11,500, would be given as rebate, and then the tax would be calculated on the final amount plus cess. वन वन टू ए गाइस 112A हो गया या कोई भी टैक्स रेट हो गया. आई टोल्ड यू स्पेशल रेट्स ऑफ टैक्स इज सेम फॉर बोथ द स्कीम्स. अगर LTCG 112A में 10% in excess of 1 lakh is as per 112A is for the old scheme, is also for the new scheme. Similarly, lottery का rate same है. मतलब special rates are same whether you are going for new or old. Only the difference comes as per the slab rates and certain exemptions and benefit. 112A दोनों में नहीं मिलेगा. गाइस 7 लाख पे टैक्स कितना आता है? नील, राइट? बट 7,15,000 पे I hope it is visible. Yeah.
26,500.
Sorry, ये ना पेन नहीं चल रहा. Just once. Yes, sir. हाँ. Disable. Disable annotations. Yes. Done. Thank you. I think अब we can work. Yeah. So in 7 lakh पे कितना टैक्स है? नील, बिकॉज ऑफ रिबेट डेफिनेटली. बट 7,15,000 पे कितना टैक्स आ रहेगा? बिकॉज ऑफ द स्लैब रेट. 7 लाख अबव तो टैक्स लगेगा, विच इज कमिंग टू 26,500. ठीक है. इनकम कितने से बढ़ा? 15,000 से. टैक्स कितने से बढ़ गया? 26,500 से. तो एक्सेस कितना है? 11,500. यानी अगर मैं 100% ऑफ इंक्रीज को भी टैक्स कर दूं, 15,000 पे भी पूरा का पूरा टैक्स लगा दूं, तब भी एडिशनल अमाउंट दे रही, तो एडिशनल इनकम बढ़ा इतना, टैक्स बढ़ा इतना. सो ये जो एडिशनल अमाउंट है ये रिबेट है. सो 26,500 which is the tax coming on 7,15,000 minus the additional amount which is more than the increase in tax, more than the increase in income. This is called the marginal rebate, and final tax would be 26,500 minus 11,500, 15,000 plus cess. ठीक है? Now understood? Shujay, is it clear?
Yes, sir.
So one by one, can we take other queries? कोई particular question?
Yes, ma'am.
कोई particular aspect? Yes.
Before asking query, it's advisable to the students, please raise your hands. right? So one by one she will name the student. That student will unmute himself or herself, right? Raise your hand. Rashmi, yeah, Rashmi Kumari, you can unmute yourself.
Yes, Rashmi.
यस मैम गुड मॉर्निंग यस
Good
मैम
morning.
यस मैम मेरा डाउट ये है कि जो 12,05,000 तक रिबेट है ओल्ड रिज्यूम में, तो साथ में 12 लाख से अब जब इनकम होगा यानी तो रिबेट 12,05,000 तक लेस नहीं हुआ.
So basically, if I get your query right, is that in old regime, the rebate is 12,500 up to an income of 5 lakh. Maximum amount is 12,500 up to a maximum income of 5 lakh. The moment वहां पे 5 lakh cross होता है, there is no concept of marginal rebate there. वहां पे rebate नहीं मिलेगा, बिल्कुल नहीं मिलेगा, आपको लगाना ही नहीं है concept. वो old scheme में. New scheme में भी 7 lakh तक था रिबेट, बट अब उन्होंने एक और बेनिफिट दे दिया कि ठीक है, इफ मार्जिनल इंक्रीजिंग हो रहा है तो हम थोड़ा सा मार्जिनल रिबेट दे देंगे, बट वो भी सिर्फ न्यू स्कीम में. ठीक है, ओल्ड स्कीम में नहीं है. ओल्ड स्कीम में 5 लाख के ऊपर जहां गया, नो रिबेट, कैलकुलेट टैक्स, पे कैलकुलेट सेस, पेड, बस.
मीन्स 5 लाख से अब इनकम होगा तो ऑल टैक्स.
जो भी टैक्स आएगा उस पे आप सेस लगा दोगे, कोई रिबेट नहीं लगेगा.
ओके मैम.
ओके, वेरी गुड. नेक्स्ट वाज रितिका. या रितिका, you can please unmute, and Rashmi, you can mute yourself. Ritika, are you there?
मैम अगर
Yes.
मैम जैसे 7 लाख है और 7,15,000 है, तो 7,15,000 को हम लोग मतलब कि जैसे इंक्रीज इन टैक्स, जैसे सरचार्ज में कहते हैं इंक्रीज इन टैक्स अगर ज्यादा रहा तो हम लोग मार्जिनल रिलीफ देते. तो जैसे इसमें इंक्रीज इन टैक्स 25,000 से और 26,500 है, तो ये 1,500 ऐसा लेना चाहिए ना.
यहाँ पे यही वैसे एज अ फर्स्ट टाइमर हम ये सोचेंगे कि 7 लाख पे तो 25,000 आते हैं. नहीं, 7 लाख पे बाय डिफॉल्ट रिबेट की वजह से टैक्स नील आ रहा है. वी आर एज्यूमिंग इट लाइक दैट. मोड इसलिए.
तो जैसे कि
हाँ जी,
अभी इधर लोग में
रितिका सॉरी, आपका वॉइस थोड़ा सा डिस्कनेक्ट हो रहा है.
ऊपर हमने लिया था जो 15,000 है, और जैसे अगर बाय चांस कभी जैसे हमारा टोटल इनकम जो 7 लाख से अबो जा रहा है वो, और हमारा टैक्स अगर जो है वो इक्वल रहा तो सरचार्ज के केस में.
सरचार्ज नहीं, रिबेट के केस में बोल रहे हैं ना, सरचार्ज वर्ड यूज
नहीं नहीं,
करें.
सरचार्ज के बारे में पूछ रही हूँ मैं,
हाँ, सरचार्ज के बारे में क्या है हमारा डाउट?
कि हमारा इंक्रीज इन टैक्स और इंक्रीज इन इनकम इक्वल रहा तो हम लोग क्या करेंगे.
इंक्रीज इन टैक्स और इंक्रीज इन इनकम वेरी, ऐसा बहुत कम होगा कि इक्वल रहेगा. मार्जिनली इंक्रीज होगा ही होगा. मतलब मार्जिनली टैक्स ज्यादा ही इंक्रीज होगा व्हेन देयर इज अ डिफरेंस ऑफ सरचार्ज रेट्स कमिंग, डेफिनेटली होगा. इक्वल अगर हुआ तो कोई रिलीफ नहीं होगा. द मोमेंट एडिशनल है, मतलब देयर इज अ डिफरेंस बिटवीन इंक्रीज इन इनकम एंड इंक्रीज इन टैक्स, तभी रिलीफ का कॉन्सेप्ट आएगा. ठीक है.
क्लियर.
Yes, Gayatri, yes, you can ask. Thank you, Ritika.
Ma'am, for undisclosed income, whether what is the tax rate, ma'am? 78% or separate 60% or 25 and 4%?
That is 78%, which comes by your 70. Ouch. That is fixed here. I'll just share the screen with you for that. Just 1 second. Just 1 second, huh? For everyone to see, I hope the screen is visible. So an undisclosed income, which is coming from these sources, which is when you are not telling about the crash credits, when you're not explaining the investments or the money which is there in your book, or any unexplained expenditure, the source of which is not given, or any amount borrowed on hundi. For that, if the assessing officer holds of it, you have to pay a tax of 78%, where there is, irrespective of whether whatever slabs rates are applicable to you or not, but as per section
Ridhima
11.
ji,
Yes, sir.
uh, can I interrupt you?
Yes, sir.
I
Yes,
already
just
interrupted.
yeah.
Uh, I wanted to ask students there any questions. Uh, Epitome, Manish ji, if you can allow me to put on my video.
Welcome, sir. Very good
Yeah,
morning.
thank you. Very good morning, Ridhima ji. My request is, if we take the whole session in English only
Yes, sir.
and focus on concepts and few important sections, little revisions from the students' angle. I understand all these students are in September 24.
Yes,
I
sir.
believe some
Hello.
of
Yes,
them are
sir.
from January 25 also, so because there was a query about that.
So,
So your
anything
voice,
specific? Uh,
Can you please explain this concept of undisclosed sources of income? What do you mean by undisclosed sources?
sure, sure.
Ridhima
Uh,
ji, you carry on. Ajit ji,
Yes, sir.
Mr.
shall I?
Ajit,
Yes, sir.
kindly put my contact detail in the chat box, or I'm doing that. Ridhima ji, you carry on.
Okay, sir. Thank you. So on a quick aspect on tax on undisclosed sources of income, what happens is, because we all try and as an SSC aim to give a proper, full and fair information to the income tax department, but sometimes what happens is that there is a lag. There is a lag means there can be some mischief from us side, where we try to be smart and we do not explain certain aspect to the income tax department. See, disclosing your income is just not enough, or disclosing your all assets and investment is just not enough. You should be very much sure on the sources also, because income tax department wants to know how you are earning a particular part of investment, or how you're earning a particular, how you're earning so much amount to make a certain expenditure. So sometimes the assessing officer catch hold of certain things, and if we are not able to, either if you have not disclosed it, or even after disclosing, we are not able to give a proper explanation or a satisfactory explanation to it, then we are covered under the provisions of undisclosed sources of income, and any part of that, if gets taxable under these sections, which is section 68, 69, 69A, B, C, and D, that particular income would be taxed at an astonishing rate of 78%, irrespective of whatever the rates are applicable to you, even if it is below the basic exemption limit still. So based on that, my friends, if we take these sections, what are these sections? Section 68 talks about the cash credit, where in your books of accounts, when you're maintaining books of accounts, वहां पे कुछ ऐसा cash credit है, आपने कुछ cash का entry करा है, for which you're not able to give a satisfactory explanation कि ये cash कहाँ से आया, किस चीज का है, from where this cash came about, what is the source of it. You are unable to explain it, assessing officer will treat it as your undisclosed source of income, and he will ask you to pay tax on it at 78% under 115 BBE. Specifically, when I talk about cash credit, you will not say, okay, this is loan. If we'll say this is loan, they will assess the person who has given you the loan also, and he also has to give a satisfactory explanation. So he will, the assessing officer will open the chain for it. Similarly, आप बोलो कि if this cash credit for the is a share application money received in advance, so they will inspect or interrogate the resident share person also who has given that credit. When he will provide the satisfactory information of the source, then only it would be considered as a satisfactory explanation. So in short, you cash credit का explanation दे दिया और आपने बोल दिया कि if this is a share application money of X and X person, they will inquire the X and X person also if he's a resident, and they will get to know the source from him also. Certainly, there are exceptions in case of venture capital and venture capital fund. Similarly, if there's any unexplained investment which is not in your books of account, आपके नाम पे एक investment निकल गई but you have not recorded it, and you are not able to give a satisfactory explanation to it. Investment है यानी पैसा से किया होगा, you have made it through certain money. So where that money came from? If you will not give them the answer for it, even if it is not actually an income, even if it is an investment and asset, still they will treat it as an undisclosed income and they will ask you to pay tax on it. Goes for unexplained money also. Money can be in the form of general money, bullion, jewelry, etc., which is not in your books, and after getting hold of it, you're not giving the correct explanation to it, it would be taxed at a much, much higher rate. Amount of investments which is there but not completely disclosed in book, whether it's for investment in general or whether it's for bullion, jewelry, other valuable article, and you're not giving a correct explanation to what is the difference. Suppose आपने investment record करा है for say 1 crore rupees, but ultimately that investment is for 5 crore rupees. If you did not tell about why there is so much of difference of if you do not give a satisfactory explanation to it, even after giving an explanation, if it is not satisfactory, then also they will treat it as undisclosed source of income. I'm quickly coming to it. Expenditure, you made a certain expenditure of, say, suppose this happens a lot when weddings are happening. They can commit as a survey or all. Suppose you're making an expenditure of in a wedding for say 5 crore, and they ask, "Hey, bhai, how do you get this much amount to make that expenditure?" If you're unable to give the sources of how you're getting the money to make that expenditure, they will treat that expenditure also as an income for which you have not given an explanation. For which you have not given an explanation. Hundi is a sort of a bill of exchange, just pay the money is borrowed and paid off. So any amount which has been borrowed through that bill of exchange is actually not allowed basically. And if you do that amount other than an account paycheck, etc., it would be treated as undisclosed income and you would be paying tax on it. So even if prima facie all these do not appear to be an income, these are investments, these are expenditure, but still you are not giving a full disclosure to it, or after giving a disclosure, you're not giving a satisfactory explanation to it, you would be caught hold of. Yes, this is for all people. Applicable for everyone. So the tax rate here, friends, is 60%, but along with surcharge of 25% fixed, even if the income which is got hold of is 50 lakhs, still the surcharge which would be applicable is 25%. Matlab 60 plus 25 लगेगा ही लगेगा, irrespective of the amount which is there. Okay.
Yeah, Satya, you can ask your query by unmuting yourself.
Ma'am, I wanted to ask, what do we mean by closely held companies and unexplained share capital?
Okay. So closely held company ko we will take it as one in general we say there's public company and there's private company, right? Similarly, closely held company is a company which is a sort of a private company where obviously there is not a lot of regularization. That's why there are a lot of tax check on a closely held company, because they can do a lot of related party transactions and other stuff, or investments which they can make it freely. So that's why a lot of tax checks are there for a closely held company. Understanding it as a basically as a private held company, there is a definition also under section 2. Let me just share it if I find it quickly. Yes. Yeah, Shada.
Yeah, Saddam, you can raise your query.
Ma'am, can you please explain the concept of alternative minimum tax and what is the meaning of alternative वो जो इन्होंने कहा था कि मिनिमम टैक्स पे करना है ऑल्टरनेटिवली, उसका मतलब।
See, this concept is not related to
Hmm.
your basic concept. Abhi, all these things will be covered in the next sessions. You are talking about AMT and all, alternate minimum tax. So this concept will be dealing in chapter 9.
ओके मैम, सो आई विल वेट।
Okay. So whatever be the topic, it's advisable to the students. Please go through your study material. Do practice all the illustrations, questions there. Because in this session, whatever we have planned, we planned that whatever you have is already studied will be further revised from this session. So we are just going to brief you only on that, revising on those concepts with the help of some illustrations, some like ma'am today taken up your surcharge concept with the help of cases. So these are kinds of, but from your perspective that you have to go through the study material thoroughly, read the concept before coming and joining to this particular session. For example, today is the basic concept. So you are supposed to, assuming that you have already done your study for this topic. From the recorded session, of course, you can, recorded sessions are almost all are relevant for your September exam as well. So please go through those recorded session also, and your study material, all the concepts are given in your study material with the help of smart charts, illustrations, and everything. Then at the end, they are being summarized also. So in the form of summary notes are also given in your study material. But students, see, it is also advisable that okay, that we are providing certain notes and revisionary notes, but it would be better that if you yourself make your own notes. That would be more, you will find them more understandable from your perspective, because you yourself are understanding the concept, then you are making the notes, though they would be more useful for you. So try to make your own notes. So these classes are such that whatever be the time is allocated, the scheduled class, we have given you sufficient time to go through the concept for particular topic. Do view your recorded sessions, do refer the concept from the provision from that topic, from the study material, then come and join and again revise those concepts with the help of these illustrations and MCQs, whatever ma'am or sir is going to take to you. Then whatever are the doubts, you can definitely ask them. So this is the purpose of this class is that, right? Whenever you are joining, you please come up with a thorough study on yourself. Right, students? So some more students are want to ask. Kevin, you may raise your query. Now we have to close up this session. The time is 9:30. Now it's already 9:40. We are going to take only one or two queries. Santan, you can ask.
Yeah, Santan.
Madam, I cannot understand the cash credit concept. Please you explain again as a simple way.
Okay, I'll explain it. Just 1 second. In respect to that only, Gayatri has a question, ma'am. Even if 8 lakh ka undisclosed income is there, then also it would be 78%. Yes, then also it would be 70%. 8 lakh pay 60% plus surcharge and cess. Definitely. So cash credit, I'll just take it here. So suppose, Santan, you have made an entry in a book of account where you're showing that cash account debit to share application money received in advance. Okay. Suppose now just because you have recorded something in books of accounts and you're telling it to the officer does not mean that you are given a full disclosure of it till the time you do not offer a sufficient or satisfactory explanation to it. So now suppose the cash credit was there. People, what I'll say you from a practical angle, what they do, they get cash, but now if they want to record that entry into the books of accounts, they put that entry with some Fox name or some hypothetical name, right? So that they are not caught hold of, right? But now suppose I have a huge cash credit in my books and I say that it is of a share application money. So first of all, first they will inquire me from the source that how this cash came. I told that it is from share application money. So when I'm telling it that it's a share application money, they will not just inquire me a mail. Say, so they got the source that it is of a X person from whom I got a share application money, right? And suppose if I'm a private company, most such transactions, or a closely held company, such transactions generally happen where they try to cover up the cash or the black transactions by painting it with other people name. So now when I told that this is from an X and X person, they will inquire that X and X person also, and they will ask, कि आपने share application money दिया, you gave the share application money to X company, from where you got that money to give the share application money, right? Here, when department goes into such inquiries, they're not inquiring about for few thousands or lakhs. They're inquiring for the transactions which are happening in crores. And they will ask the ex person who's the resident. Even if my books are getting inquired or assessed, but they will ask the other person if he fails to give a satisfactory explanation from how he got that money and gave it to me, still it would be treated as a income for me, even if the other person who has given that money, especially in case of share application money, is not giving a satisfactory explanation. हाँ, अगर अब मैंने वो cash credit कुछ X, I did not say it's a loan, I did not say it's a share application money. I said it is because of some third source. If this officer is satisfied, he will not treat it as undisclosed money. But if he's not satisfied, you are saying that this transaction is coming from X source. If he thinks that this is not the true picture, he can treat it as a undisclosed source of income and tax that income at 78%. So even if it's a cash credit, it would be treated as an income. Yeah, Kade.
Ridhima, I think Kevin is asking. Kevin, actually, it is very difficult again to cover that partial integration concept whole here because now it's time to close the session. But what I can explain you that partial integration concept comes when the agriculture income is there, right? See, you know, you are very much aware that agriculture income is exempted income. But see, if people are having a huge amount of agriculture income, so in order to avoid, provide having a very small amount, very minimal amount of total income, but agriculture are very huge. So government, what they have then, that to compute the tax rate, tax liability should not be very lower on those person, even though they are having such a huge amount of agriculture income. So what the government has done, they have come out with the concept of partial integration. That means that income, agriculture income, also has to be considered while computing the tax liability of that person, right? So in that way, what you have to do, first of all, in considering that agriculture income, you have to compute the tax liability. Whatever the total income, excluding your agriculture income, then plus on that total income, you have to add on the agriculture income part, right? You have to compute the tax liability on that, right? Overall income, including your agriculture income. Then from that, what you will do, you will, in the agriculture income, you add upon the basic exemption limit, whatever be the basic exemption limit. If the HSA is paying tax under section 115 BAC, then you have to add on and accordingly compute the tax liability on that agriculture income portion. Then you will make out the difference between both. Right? You will, she is opening that. You can refer the study material illustration also in case if you are having further doubt. If in case you are having further doubt, definitely you can come to the next class. She will explain you that. So whatever, there are two steps that we have done, that we have computed these first, including your agricultural income, you have computed the tax liability. Then the step 2, you have computed the tax liability on the agriculture income plus your basic exemption limit milake, you have computed the tax. Then the step 3, what you will do? From step 1 to step 2, you are going to determine the exact tax liability, right? 50,000. Here we have done 66,000 in step 1 we have computed. Then here 16,000 we have computed in the step 2. So 50,000 you are coming with. Now here is the concept of, since the OCC is paying tax under 115 BAC and the tax liability, since the margin relief concept will again, we have to check whether the assessee would be eligible for some rebate or not. Then that concept we have been applied here, right? So you go and go through the study material illustration. I think that concept you can understand from the study material. In case if you have further doubt, you can come to the second session, in the next session, and she first explain that to you. Then we will proceed for the residential status and total income. Right? Marginal,
Ma'am, my only thing query is like partial integration is valid in case of optional tax regime or default tax regime.
Both. It's valid for both. Yeah,
Both.
default tax regime may also you have to do the partial integration, and if the assessing is paying tax under the normal tax regime, then also partial integration concept has to be checked. Right? Both cases it has to be. Right?
Okay, ma'am. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Ali Khan, she already explained the margin relief concept with the help in case if you are having the special rates and all in 115 BAC. You want that?
Yes, ma'am. I want to know
See,
about 112 if there is applicable. I am little bit confused.
try to solve the questions in the study material. The manner of computation will be same, but you have to keep in mind that the special rates are taxable at a different rate, not as the slab rates. So accordingly, you compute the tax liability combining all the normal tax slab rates tax liability and the special rates tax. Then you add upon both the things. Then you see whether how much is the total income. Right on that, if it's 7 lakh, of course, it's 7 lakh, then you have to compute how is the total tax liability and the maximum rebate cannot extend to 25,000. Then that tax liability has to be compared with that total tax liability. Whatever you are doing in case of normal provision, same concept will be applicable here also BAC. There is nothing different. Okay, Ali?
Yes, ma'am. If it is if there is special income, ma'am, what I have to do, ma'am?
The special income, that's what I'm saying. Now, compute the tax on the special income at the special rates and on the other income at the slab rate.
Yes,
combine both the tax liabilities, right? Then you have to compare that overall rebate cannot exceed in case of income is less than 7 lakh in case of BAC. Then you have to know that you are aware that total rebate cannot exceed 25,000. So you have to check. The whichever is lower, your total combined tax liability or 25,000, whichever is lower will be eligible as a rebate.
Okay, ma'am.
Got it? So manner is same, but you have to keep in mind what tax rates are applicable in respect of special income. You have to compute the tax on those income accordingly, and the other income other than the special income, the slab rates. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
So be prepared, students. We have to now close up this session and be ready with your residential status and scope of total income. From clear your concept, watch the recorded session that would be on your Monday, right? To solve all the illustrations, questions given in the study material, try to make your own notes, right? Then come to that session, whatever will be the doubts, you can clarify then and there. And of course, she will explain you those concepts with the help of illustrations or MCQs, right? Ridhima, I think we can conclude the session.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, you can also just pass a message to this.
Thank you so much.
When live session of law income tax.
Sadab, can you come again?
Yes, ma'am. I have a small doubt. May I ask?
Immediately, very fast. We have to now wind up the session.
Okay,
it's
ma'am,
already
okay.
20 minutes. Right? Yeah,
Ma'am,
please.
where our income is 4,80,000, comprises of income from long-term capital gain under section 112. Then what if exemptions and tax rates are applicable?
Ma'am, there is a concept of unexhausted basic exemption limit, which we obviously did not touch because वो capital gain से ही better clear होगा once they have done it. We cannot say directly कि 480 पे you apply the tax if there is no other income. You first have to apply unexhausted basic exemption limit का concept, which says that if you do not have any other income, take the benefit of unexhausted basic exemption limit. Suppose it's an old scheme, then you take a benefit of 2,50,000. Then on that, whatever amount is remaining on, it's a 112A. You will calculate the tax in excess of 10%, and there would be no rebate. If it's a 20%. 480 amount which you're telling, then 480 minus 250 on remaining 230 you will apply 20% and then you will get the rebate. But
illustrations are there, I think. Illustrations are there in the study material. You can practice those illustrations.
But ma'am, if I'm not wrong, unexhausted basic exemption limit illustrations are not here in basic concepts.
In RTP or other things, I think there are some MCQs are there.
Yeah, definitely.
We will see, I think. And then you can come up in the next session before moving to the residential. You can come with one illustration or MCQ on that aspect. Right?
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Next session would be on Monday, Swati. ठीक है. So in the next live session, we'll be discussing residential status के quick snapshot of the concept, and then we'll be taking up your doubts. Thank you. Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, dear students. Thank you. Bye-bye. Take care.